Sharp. Let me say they work. Okay, so today, good evening, everybody. Welcome. While we wait for our 6 late comers, we can begin. I have a feeling, say, the 6 week and they join to make it 33 and every day, then they wait small, and then the time then see, oh, this time they're about to start the exam question.
Switch off annotation. Okay, now we could try for the sprint.
Disable annotation. Good. Okay. So today we are looking at storage, module 7 of our AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Essential course. So AWS offers a wide range of storage services, right? The first one that we are going to look at is the Amazon Elastic Block Store, shortened as or abbreviated as EBS. So EBS is a block storage device. And when we say something is a block storage, you store your data in blocks, right? So whenever you are updating your volume, I beg mute one of mics. So
Angela.
So you store data in blocks, right? So let us use just the normal blocks that are used to build houses, right? So you put one here, you put one there, you put one here, you put one there. You get it? So anytime you want to update it, you just update a block. So if you have a video file here and then you want to add a video file elsewhere, it doesn't affect the entire what's it called? It doesn't affect the entire volume. You only just come and put it right there. And EBS volumes are automatically replicated within the availability zone for high availability and then durability. So replication of your EBS volume is not done by you. It's automatically done. You get it? So if you are in one availability zone and then you create your EBS volume there, anywhere around that availability zone that you are, you'll be able to access it.
I go log the main gate. I go log them. Okay.
There we go.
You won't use it. But I know they get a key. Oh. Then one of you guys bring the key, come there.
Mute them. The host, make mute them.
It be the host. Yeah, okay, mute them. Right. And EBS volumes are non-volatile, right? Non-volatile means that loss of power doesn't affect the device or it doesn't affect the data on it. So the EBS volume is just like your normal hard drive that you attach to your PC, right? When your PC goes off, the data on it still remains. Okay. The data still remains, right? And as I said the other time,
was come to think of it, I don't even know what I did. Because
yeah. Yeah, so they come. Let me.
I think there's one Ophelia too. You can mute her.
Okay, so make Prince. Where Prince go there?
Adeo.
Hey, how I will make you co-host?
Take go my this thing top. And then the 3 dots did there and you click on that one.
But if you only make host way there.
No, check like this account with disable co-hosting.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Like
So
I for do one before I start.
before you start the meeting, okay.
Just like this account, we all we are like this.
Yeah, I see. That's fine. That's fine.
This is come now. The talk you say you are just.
So I will do the muting, no problem.
Okay.
Right. So I was saying yesterday that anytime you hear elastic, then it means that that volume is what is scalable. You are able to scale in and out, right? And then you only pay for what you provision. So if you pay for it, if you pay for it, it's if you pay for 8 GB, that is what you are going to pay for, right? And we were supposed to even talk about S3 before we talk about block storage. I mean, block level storage and then object level storage. But as I explained earlier, for block storage, you only change the block containing the modified data, as I said, right? So it doesn't affect the whole volume. And then for object storage, updates, when you update, like you want to update a file, you have to update the entire file, right? You have to update the entire thing. So it's just like you have stuff stored in a bucket, right? And you want to take what is under the was and you want to take it, you will have to you have to remove, or you have to empty the whole bucket, take whatever you want to take. Or even if you are taking it from top, you will have to empty them, take one, put them back, and then update it, right? If is that any time that you want to make changes, you will have to update the entire thing again, right? So it makes block storage like faster, right? How it makes it faster than, I mean, the other storage options that you have. But yeah, it may also have higher costs. All right.
Anything?
Yep.
Can I add an example?
Yes. You can cite an example.
A block. So example is like a book.
Right.
For instance, you've saved the book, and here's a case where some of the pages have been edited. One instance, the new edited version will replace the old one, and in other instances, only the pages where the editing was done will be replaced. So basically, this is the simple.
Yes, the simple. Great. He must show say he spent 2 weeks for the storage top. Now in the use case, this rich I say you must have okay now yes okay if you can matter the talk I say you man. All right, so with EBS, you can create them individually, right? You can create the volume separately before you come and attach it to the Amazon EC2. However, if you are creating an EC2 instance, the volume, the storage space that you allocate is also an EBS volume. So you can even go ahead and then delete that volume or edit that volume. I can either increase the size or reduce the size. You get it? You can either increase or reduce the size, and it won't affect the data that you have on that volume, right? And it's the ideal storage type for use when you are doing your boot files. So just that's why you have a hard drive in your PC, right? So it's always advisable that you use it for your root volumes as well, and then other file systems. And okay, so that's basically yes, they are for boot volumes for EC2 instances. We talk of snapshots and then durability of data. So snapshots are backups. When you want to create a backup for your EBS volume, you take snapshots, right? So it's just backups that has been changed. The name has been changed, right? So if you have file where you save, let's say, a picture today, you take a snapshot of it. Tomorrow, maybe you have a video, and then you take a snapshot of the volume, right? You take a snapshot of that volume. The snapshot that you took the day before will have just the image, right? The image file. And then the snapshot that you took in the second day will have the image file and the video. So they are just backups, right? They are backups that you create. So that's what we call snapshots. And as subsequent snapshots capture only the changes from the previous one. So if you take, so for EBS volume backups, if let's say you have an image today, you are supposed to take, let's say you are supposed to take backups every week, right? Those who work at the IT department, maybe you have to schedule backups every week. Now, what happens is that if you take a snapshot at the beginning of the week, and then by the end of the week, there is no changes in the file, nothing has been updated. When you take the snapshot, it will still be the same data, right? So it is when there are changes, then it saves the snapshot. So it just takes notice of changes that has occurred. It looks at the changes in the data, and then it takes the snapshot of the changes. And it can also be shared, copied to other regions, in case for disaster recovery purposes. And you can even create a volume from that snapshot. You can even create a volume out of it. And yes, in that same module, there is a lab exercise that you are able to do that. You create an EC2, edit the volume, create a snapshot of, add a file, and then create a snapshot of the volume, and then you create another volume out of that snapshot, and you delete the previous one and attach the new volume to the EC2 instance. And as I said, you can resize it without necessarily stopping your EC2 instance. You can just increase and then reduce the size, and it affects nothing, absolutely nothing on your volume. In terms of cost, you are charged by the gigabytes that you provision, right? The storage that you provision, and then you are charged per gigabyte, right? Per month until you stop using it or until you release it, right? And then input and output is also included in the price for a general purpose SSD volumes. So you know that the volumes also has, the EBS volumes have types, right? There is a general purpose. There is I don't have these things off head. General purpose. Okay, if you declare, there are general purpose. There is is it compute or memory optimized SSD volume. So there are different types of volumes, but for a general purpose volume, the input and then output procedure are also included in the pricing, right? And then for magnetic volumes, you are charged based on the number of requests that you make to the volume. And for IOPS, IOPS is what? Let me look it up.
Input output operations.
Output per second.
Input output per second. All right. So for volumes, for IOPS SSD volumes, the charges depend on the provisions of the input and then output that you make, and then the percentage of data that you provision them. All right. So if let's say you provision a type of volume, this type of volume for 15 days, right? For 15 days, then you are going to be charged according to the percentage of days within the month. So like the percentage of days within the month. So the number of days that you provision, they will strike a percentage out of the monthly, the days of the month, and then you are charged for that. Snapshot costs are also calculated per gigabyte per month, and the data transfer fees apply when copying the snapshots across regions. So more or less like data out, right? When you are transferring the data outside the regions, then you are also charged for data transfer fees. S3, object storage. So the case that Okai gave us, right? You store in an object level, and with this one, the entire object is updated when you make any changes, and then it stores the data as object, and it's mostly suitable for static objects like documents, like pictures, like those things, right? And you can store up to 5 terabytes. Each object can be up to 5 terabytes. However, you can store virtually like unlimited data, but then each object shouldn't be more than 5 terabytes. That is just what it means. So if, let's say, you can have an image of 5 terabytes, but you can't have an image of more than 5 terabytes, but you can have 10 images that has 5 terabytes each, right? 10 images that are 5 terabytes each, and you can store them in one bucket. And it says it offers 11 nines of durability. That is 9.99999 up to 11. And then it is designed for high availability. However, S3 cannot be attached to EC2 instance. They are mostly for hosting.
Luis, we beg you. Mute.
Ooh, Charlie, sorry, Adibe. Sorry.
You will kneel down right now.
Now, and by default, data is not shared publicly on Amazon S3. You have to do it yourself, right? And I forgot to mention, EBS also has encryption feature, but you also have to enable that encryption. It's not done automatically. You're also able to set IAM policies, bucket policies, and then access control lists, right, on Amazon S3 to control who have access to what. There are several storage classes in Amazon S3. There is a standard IA. Standard is for data that is frequently accessed, right? And then IA are data that are infrequently accessed. And there is intelligent steering, where there is a use of AI, right, to move objects between the storage classes depending on the access patterns. And there is also Glacier for archiving, and there's Glacier Deep Archive. So the Deep Archive is more or less like data that is rarely accessed. So they are mostly used for what's this thing? There is a word for it, where you keep data for a very long time. It is something that you don't think you might access it, but okay, let's keep it anyway in case we need access to it. And then the retrieval time is much longer than the Glacier.
Is it curation?
What?
Curation.
Yes, it also means that, but that is not the word I'm actually looking for. With somebody, I'll go kai. Right, and the Deep Archive is the cheapest, right, followed by the Glacier, and then intelligent steering, and then the infrequent access one zone. So the one zone is more or less like data that is infrequently accessed, and then it's only stored in one availability zone. Yes, this is what I mentioned. It's archiving. So like you are serious, so archiving. So
Now
they
you talk
just I talk about Charlie. It's just like holding your phone and then you are still searching for it. So it's for, I mean, archiving. Let's just archive it. We might not need it, but in case we need it, we know where to go for it. So if you have, it's more or less like this kind of data are stored, at the basement. There is an underground storeroom that these stuff are stored. When you are going for them, you have to use your hand to wipe some cobwebs, and then even when you take it, you have to wipe some dust off it and then all that. Right. And bucket names are
It's usually accessed once or twice in a year.
in a year, exactly. Right. And for the intelligent tiering, it moves data in a 30-day cycle. So if the data is infrequently accessed in like 30 days, and then it will move it to the IA, the standard IA. If within 30 days it is accessed, then it moves it back to the standard, right? That is what the intelligent tiering also does. And if after a long time it's not accessed, probably it moves it to standard IA, and then after some time it's not accessed, then it moves it to Glacier. So like that, depending on the access patterns, it moves them across the different classes. All right. And then buckets names are universal and then must be unique worldwide. What does this one mean? I'll explain it. If that is it, then we'll move. If not, then can you come in? Or probably you have to explain what they mean by it has to be, it's universal and it must be unique worldwide. Does it mean that if I have my bucket name as CC, it should be like that? No other buckets should have that name. Is that what it means?
Yes. It's just like domain name. If you
Okay.
own a particular domain, no one can use that same domain. The person has to change it. So
Great.
it's just like domain. So it's unique worldwide.
It's just like metadata.
All right, great.
I say it's just like metadata.
What is it? Is it like metadata? Who said it? We need you to
Godman.
like it. Okay, when he comes back then. And hey, this line, am I the one who wrote it? Bucket can be associated with a specific AWS region. Okay, yes, bucket is a regional service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, buckets are regional services. And
Right.
then Godman.
You know be global.
No, bucket. So that's why I'm asking if, because when you are creating an S3 bucket, you don't even specify like a region. Is it that it's global, but you can still associate it with a region?
Well, definitely it has to be allocated in a region. Like it has to be
the bucket names.
Right.
Okay. If they talk, then you talk, or then you mute again.
Now, I was saying, isn't it related to the bucket names? The buckets can be associated with a specific AWS region. If the bucket name usually, I think there's a portion where the region is stated.
It's stated. Okay. Okay. That's just what I wanted to understand.
Even though it's a global service.
Service. Okay.
Hello. I'm here.
All right. Godman.
Yeah.
You were saying that it's just like metadata. So we just needed clarification.
Did I say what I meant? Did I say metadata? What I meant to say is that you see how do you call? You see a BTC address, like a Bitcoin wallet address, no?
Yeah.
You see Bitcoin wallet address.
Yeah. So yes, it's unique.
It's unique.
Yes.
And then
nobody
can have the same wallet address.
Okay.
So it's like combination of those things and characters together.
Well understood. And just like how we access other AWS services. It can be accessed through the console, the CLI, and then the software development kits, and even other third-party backup tools, right? And as usual, for programmatic access, you will need an access key, right? You need access, and then you need to provision the access key pairs. So the access key pairs are the access ID and then the secret access key. In other words, public key and private key. What are the use cases? As I said earlier, it's for static web hosting, data backups, and then archiving. So you can configure cross-region replications for disaster recovery as well. And the S3 costs vary based on the region as much as it's global, based on the region that you are, and then the requests that are made.
What is going on?
Right?
You want to push me on
the requests that are made, and then the request types are get, put, and then copy. So get is like for retrieval purposes. Put is like you are adding up, and then copy is for data replication. Now, data that is transferred into S3 is free, but there is a charge for data transfer out. Today the class people, they are, if we are class prefers, write names of talkatives.
Papa's phone for me.
And EFS, Elastic File System. This is a managed service, right? It's a managed service and can also be shared and then accessed by multiple EC2 instances. It is mostly implemented as a shared file system using the NFS, the network file system. All right, so mostly it's for data. Prince, okay. Talk.
I want to know which how many of the storage services are managed and how many are not managed. Like which ones?
So for S3 is not managed. EBS is also not managed. So far, this is one that we've seen that they are managed. So I think as we move on, we are left with the other one. That is the what is it? So they are the Glacier. Glacier is an S3 class, so I don't know why I even had one. So there is EFS, EBS, and then the S3. So EBS and then S3 are not managed, and EFS is managed. So far, for the three that we know, but there are other storage classes too. Let me try and then get them, and then we'll see the ones that are managed. So there are plenty. So for AWS Data Sync, those ones are managed, right? Let me even open the for one. But I think for the scope of our cloud practitioner, yes.
They keep on low to the scope.
So for the scope of our cloud practitioner, these are the three that we're supposed to know, and then it's EFS that is managed, EBS and then S3 are not managed. But I think within the S3 classes, intelligence tiering is also kind of a fully managed service, right? And then that FSX that we met yesterday is also managed. It's also a fully managed service. So that's about those ones. And with EFS, you can also scale from gigabyte to petabyte, right? And those ones you also don't need to provision. As your storage demand increases, it's automatically scaling up for you. And EC2 instances can also access the EFS file system, right? And then for consistent performance to each instance. So more or less like even if you have a root storage, right? So you can provision an EBS volume. Let's say since you are using it for boot, you can just provision like a 10 gigabyte or a 5 gigabyte, and then you attach an EFS volume for your storage purposes, just like how you partition your hard drives, right? You partition this for the Windows files to use it themselves, but with your movies and then all that, you place them in the partitioned space. So that's basically how it works. So it's always recommended that for your root or your boot volumes, you use an EBS volume for it, and then you can use the other storage types for your storage. So I think we'll look at the steps in setting up the Amazon EFS. So first you create an EC2 and then launch it, and then you create an Amazon EFL system. So with EFL system, you just access the service through search. So you search for EFS and then you create it. It's just the create EFS file system. And then you create your mount target. So your mount target is your, where you would want to attach to. So that is the instance in the subnet. So for example, let's take the issue, the case of a web server, for example. So you are hosting your web server in a public subnet, right? You are hosting a web server in your public subnet. So you should have an EC2 instance in that public subnet. And then you now want to attach an elastic file system to it. So you go and create it. And then now you create your mount target in the appropriate subnet. That is where your EC2 instance is residing, right? And then you will now connect the EC2 instance and then mount the EFS file system to it. That's just basically how it goes. Just like how we created the EBS volume. For those who have gone through that lab, you create and you now use PuTTY to format it, and then you now mount the drive into a directory in the EC2 instance. Any other thing? Yes, the resource, these are resource properties. It's just like, hey.
Who that?
Benji.
All right, so for properties that you can just use to identify your EFS volume, like the ID, there is a token that is generated when you create it, the time that you created it, and then the size. So it's more or less like a metadata, right? A metadata about your EFS volume, right? And then when they are associated with subnets, they can also have properties like the mount target ID, the subnet ID, and then the file system ID. These ones are, you can just see it when you select the volume, you see it in the details section. All these details are going to come, and you can also tag. I spoke about tagging when we were talking about I think it was yesterday when we were talking about networking. I also talked about tagging, that you use a key value pair, and the key depending on the property that you want to use, but most of the time the key is name, and then the value pair is the name that you want to give to that resource. For Glacier, I'll not talk about it because I've spoken about it in the S3. It's for archiving, right? And then the retrieval time is sometimes like it's long, depending on the class of Glacier that you have. And then this is the retrieval time. So expedited is 1 to 5 minutes. That's the highest cost. Standard is 3 to 5 hours, less expensive. And then bulk is 5 to 12 hours. That is the least expensive. So there are some key terms that you can also look at. Archive. The archive is the object that has been archived. So we talk of photos, we talk of files, we talk of video files, and then all that. And each of them has a unique ID. And there is a vault. A vault is the container that you have stored your archives in. So take a bank vault, for example, or a vault can be anything that you store your stuff in, right? So take any container or box that you store your stuff in, and then probably you've logged it. That's your vault, right? And there is vault access policy to determine who can access the data in the vault, and then what can they do, right? Even your access right. Are you able to modify what is in there, or are you able to delete it, or you are just able to read from that? And there is also there is a vote lock policy, right? That ensures that your vote is logged and safe. So the use cases are most of the times, healthcare information that you want to store. So like hospitals, like where they store, they archive those information, right? They have regulatory and compliance archives, scientific data, digital preservation, and then tape library replacement. So these are most of the use cases that these informations can be used. Right, you can't just go to the hospital and then request data about someone, or someone's health data can just be retrieved just like that. They follow certain procedures before. So these are the use cases that you can use S3 Glacier. And you can also access it through the management console or APIs or the SDKs, right? And you can also use lifecycle policies to archive data into Glacier to reduce cost. So in here, you are using what? Intelligent tiering. So you can use the intelligent tiering to give a lifecycle policy, or to set a lifecycle policy that, see, if data is not accessed within the next 2 days, send it to Glacier, or send it to Glacier Deep Archive, right? So these are the two specific, archival purposes. So maybe within 2 days, if it's not accessed, send it to Glacier. After 15 days, send it to Deep Archive. And for the differences, for S3, maximum as item capacity or maximum item size is 5 GB. And then for S3 Glacier, maximum item size is 40 terabytes. And the pricing also differs according to, the types of request or retrieval. So the faster you want the retrieval to be, the higher the cost. Let me just put it that way, right? The faster you want the retrieval to be, the higher the cost. And Glacier encrypts data by default. I think we had a question like that. Is it 2 days ago?
Yes.
Yes, we had a question on that if you want your data to be encrypted in Glacier, what should you do? And there was an option says encrypt your data before you put it in there. And there was another one says that once you upload your data into Glacier, there's nothing to do because the data is encrypted by default, right? And then S3 in itself provides server-side encryption with options like SSE. So SSE S3 is server-side encryption by S3. And then there is SSEC. That's a customer provided encryption key. And then AWS key management service. So you can see SSE by KMS or SSE KMS is the same as the SSEC. and then you see SSE S3. So server-side encryption by S3, server-side encryption by AWS Key Management Services, or server-side encryption by customer-provided encryption keys. So these are the encryption types that you can have in S3. Yes, you can also control access to Amazon S3 Glacier using IAM policies, right? For you to be able to specify who has access and then what they can do. And both the S3 Glacier and then the Amazon S3 are all designed. I mean, everything about AWS is designed with security in mind. So they provide robust encryption and access control options. So that brings us to the end of our storage module as far as cloud computing, a cloud practitioner is concerned.
Bless you.
Okay, summary.
Summary.
Yes.
Sort of. So the first one is the EBS, right?
Yes, the first one is EBS.
The block store.
Yeah.
That one is usually attached to an instance. It's very fast. It's reliable. You don't lose data if the instance should shut down. And it's generally, that's what we use as the root storage. So the operating system files and all that is being kept in there. Then we have the S3. The S3 has classes. So we have the standard. We have the one with the intelligent tiering.
Yeah.
We have the IA. I've forgotten the full term. The full
infrequently accessed.
Access. Yeah. So we have the two infrequent access, depending on the policy.
Yeah.
Then we have the glaciers, the two glaciers, the deep archive, the deep glacier, and also the normal glacier. Yeah.
Yes.
And we also have the DFS, which is for network file sharing.
Yeah.
Where you can host it and applications running all across the web can access that particular storage and use the information on the storage to run its to run or to print. Yeah. So I think that's have I left anyone out? Any one of them out?
I think that's all.
All right.
Okay, so that's basically about storage. As far as the scope of our CCP, as said by AWS and ALX, are concerned. Okay, so today, what is? So today we'll look at our exam practice, our official exam practice.
Hey, come on, you go buy wrong thing.
They see. Over is about OP. You go do one of these steps in this. Okay, so start here.
No, seriously, Momo.
Like this one here, I will kneel down.
Make you give me the number.
Prince, please mute. Prince.
Prince Penamai, last time I said talk, you know talk. Today you do mumu. This is the we catch you.
And today they do.
I apologize, guys. I apologize. Sorry.
Somebody bids me for the link to the summaries. Where are they? I beg, I will send you a. He send me message. Yeah, I beg, we could finish, then I will send you. Do I forget things? Okay. Right. So this is the official practice exam. Is 65 questions, 1 hour 30 minutes. And so there is an option to review the answers while we answer them. Okay. Let me turn it on and see. It's grayed out. So unless we do it before, this one is not like that. And it's based on the CO2 domains, right? Okay, so we'll start. So please, this one, how do we do it? Should we explain the answers as we select, or we should just do it when we are done? We'll go and look at them.
Let's do it. Let's take it as a mock exams. So
Okay.
everyone can read more themselves.
Okay.
Because it's the same mistake they are going to face.
Okay, sure. So then we'll do majority carries the vote. Anna.
Yeah.
Except situations when the answers are obvious and then we are having like other like options. Or we still go with the majority carries the vote.
Majority.
Okay, sure.
The answer be obvious. It still go be majority.
Majority, okay, that's fine. Let me open the thing with my phone then. So that I'll be able to see the votes.
Recording in progress.
Hey, who they recorded this again?
No, it be me. I'll open plus my phone. I'll open my phone, so you are chatting as a guest, I know. Okay, so start. So which AWS support plan includes a designated technical account manager? Answers. Please, today is no list, so I hope like we are all there. Let us take part, right? It will help all of us. And then you're Dawson. And please use the letters B near names say B A near names and the answers are not coming. Should I mention names? Because we are more than, so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are more than 6 here. We are 35 in this room. At least we should get like 20 answers. Okay, so it's all B. Which AWS service or features can control VPC traffic? We are selecting 2. We have security groups, Direct Connect, Guard Duty, Network LCLs, Amazon Connect. A service or feature that can control VPC traffic. Okay, so great. All right. So AD is what we are seeing. Which AWS service can host a static website? This one is wholesale price. Wholesale price. So A is the majority. All right. Which AWS compute service is serverless? This one is also wholesale price. Wholesale price. Wholesale price.
AWS X-Ray Day. Hey, Charlie.
X-ray deal. You know, be you if you talk that. Okay. I've made
And
the
then
question
you
for some. You know, be. So yes, B is the majority. An application is receiving SQL injection attacks from multiple external resources. Which AWS service or feature can help automate mitigation against these attacks? This one is also we've talked about it before, but I check. Right. Today, Bridget and Angela are on fire. Oh.
I swear.
Hello, Rhodes.
Proud.
Hello,
Proud.
Rhodes. We missed you yesterday. So A is the majority. A company wants to improve its security and audit posture by limiting Amazon EC2 inbound access. What should the company use to access instances remotely instead of opening inbound SSH ports and managing SSH keys? So let me take the question again. A company wants to improve its security and audit posture by limiting Amazon EC2 inbound access. What should the company use to access instances remotely instead of opening inbound SSH ports and managing SSH keys?
Benji, mute and mute. We need to hear your conversation with your.
Answers. Okay, so the majority is D. AK, but okay. AK, which one are you choosing?
You say D, yeah.
Type D previously. Okay, so still D is the majority, so select D. A company is moving its office and must establish an encrypted connection to AWS. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Oh, see, I don't know. You don't know, so choose one. You are choosing two answers. So it's moving its office and must establish an encrypted connection to AWS. I see A. Prince also says A. A. More answers. Derek says C. So we have had two questions that had. So let me put this one down. This question 7. The previous one I forget, but it was A and D. So question 7. Okay, so I see C. C, C, C. Benji also says C. Godman says C. Derek says C. So how many A's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is a tie. One more. There's still a tie. 1 C came and then 1 A came. Okay, so there is 1 C. So now C is the majority.
Hey, who can stop fooling?
Oh. Ah, if you draw our attention, then okay, so let me count it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, choose
7,
anyone. Choose anyone. Choose anyone.
6, 7, 8. So we can vote 3 times. So we'll nullify all his answers.
Are they here plus 4 additional AWS lengths? 4.
So we have nullified your answers. So we choose direct connect.
Yeah, my name is Kwame. Yeah, I also voted.
Okay.
Concept.
A company wants to host its relational database on AWS. The databases have predefined schemes that the company needs to replicate on AWS. Which AWS service could the company use for the databases? We are selecting 2. We are selecting 2. Select 2. So A, B. Angela, we are left. You said B. Akabako, Fakahon. Sita says A, B. Omufambre to 4 ball. Okay, so majority carries the vote. A, B, A, B. All right. Which feature can be used to protect Amazon S3 buckets from accidental overwrites or deletions? This one you can use elimination. Okay, I can see C, B, C. If I'm right. Okay, Josephine says C. Sita says C. Derek says C. So far the majority is C. Prince says B. Abdul Hakim says C. Okay, so C is the majority. What is a benefit of moving to AWS Cloud in terms of improving time to market? I think this one is also easy. Abdul, last to answer, first to answer. I like that. Roads.
Wow.
Okay, so C. A user has petabytes of data to migrate to AWS from an area where high-speed network connections are not possible. Which service is the fastest way to transfer the data? We see a 2-4 ball. It would ensure say these are the kind of questions then go bring.
Then they give you the same thing teacher could give you for class 1 plus 1, and exams you bring
You have.
a square root of
Wait.
256.
I bet it be 11 questions, but the killer ones.
What is an example of high availability in AWS cloud? Let's move. Okay. Okay. So I see B, plenty B's. All right, so B. A company needs access to cloud support engineers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so 247. What is the least expensive AWS support plan that meets this requirement? So we are looking at the least support plan that meets the requirement. 247 support. 247 to cloud support engineers. So I see, where did the ancestors from? Prince, I see A, B, A, D, B, I think, A, B, A, B, A, wow. So let's see, 1, 2. Okay, you let me wait for more to come.
Is it that you don't see my own or what?
Check who they send a message give.
Then check who they send a message to.
The meeting group chat too.
Because I know the, okay, I see for a host, I see. Okay, so let me count where did it start from? Here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then the B's are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is 1 D. Okay, I have 6 B's now. So the majority says B. Let's move on. Which of the following are security best practices for using AWS Identity Access Management? Select 2. Security best practices. So BD, 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 and I see DE. Wow, I see 2 DEs. That's how we like it. Senior says BD. Host says DE. BD, Jason. Okay. So BD. A company has an Amazon EC2 instance that must access AWS Secrets Manager to retrieve credentials. Which identity or service is required by the EC2 instance to perform the task? This one is wholesale. Hey! I would not say. Crazy.
I see, but she should laugh.
Busy, yes. Someone say busy. So be easy. After selecting an Amazon EC2 dedicated host reservation, which pricing option would provide the largest discount? Wholesale price, wholesale price, wholesale price, wholesale price. Okay, so far D. What is a responsibility of AWS under the AWS shared responsibility model? AWS responsibility. Wholesale price. Wholesale price. More being.
This guest OS, then post OS. If you know what channel, it will confuse
It
you.
will confuse you, yeah.
Hmm.
So guest is for the customer, host is for AWS. Okay, so this one is also wholesale. A company needs to transfer 60 terabytes of data to the AWS cloud in a secure manner. Which of the following should the company use to meet these requirements? Okay, so the answer is A. I want one person to talk about what a snowball edge is. For those of you who don't understand. And I should wait when we are done, then we'll go and look at it.
And make we finish.
Let me put the question number down. 18. A company does not own a physical data center but needs a network solution that connects employee laptops directly to the AWS cloud. Which service will meet this requirement? So where did the answer start from? It's okay, it started from Prince B. Or it started from host. No, it started from Prince. So B, C, D, C, B. Okay, so no be CloudFront. So eliminate CloudFront. So B, client VPN. Okay. Let me put this question also down. I want to understand why people chose client VPN. Okay. A developer needs to access AWS resources from the AWS CLI. Which feature in AWS IAM can the developer use for authentication? So he's accessing resources from the AWS CLI. Which feature of IAM can the developer use for authentication? Answers. Make I take water. Today to Judy's the bed, Anna. I don't see answer today. Okay, so A majority. All right, host says A. A company has existing software licenses that it wants to bring to AWS, but the licensing model requires licensing physical calls. How can the company meet this requirement in AWS cloud? Okay, so I'm seeing B, D, B, B, C, B.
Prince, dedicated, the control license.
Okay, so BB majority. A company has a stateless application that can handle interruptions. The application must be available day and night. Traffic increases heavily during business hours. Which instance types for base and peak traffic are most cost efficient to meet these requirements? So I think I'm again. A company has a stateless application that can handle interruptions. The application must be available day and night. Traffic increases heavily during business hours. Which instance types for base and peak traffic are most cost efficient? So everybody says B. Okay, seeing B, 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 B. Answers. Who says B? Okay. Which AWS service can help a company detect an outage of its website service and redirect users to alternate service? So I see C, C, okay. Which AWS cloud design principles can help increase reliability? Select 2. C, C, E, C, E, E, C. You be the people with any count alphabet they go back and ni Princess look to D, E. Okay, C, E. So C. Okay, C, E. So E is constant. Yes, E be conch. So E is conch. Monolithic is not it. Because monolithic are tightly coupled stuff. Right? But majority is CE. So we'll go with C. Which responsibility is shared between the user and AWS? So we are looking at shared responsibility. So we are looking at security in the cloud that has to do with both the customer and then AWS. So I see B and I see D. CETA also says D. Road says D. Train says D. Oh, I see when you question this. Test this data, we don't get that. You don't go fit base that question before answer. Okay, so D majority. Let's go. Which option is an AWS cloud adoption framework foundational capability of operational perspective, a operations perspective? Mosi we nsi antulu tana. Okay. A. I'm seeing A's. Philia says A. Godman says A. Kai says A. Bridges says A. Ning says it's A. I like the confidence. Okay, so which of the following are characteristics of AWS regions and availability zones? Select true. Let's do elimination. Or you will say, you know. So regions bring AWS service to on-premises facilities. That's not part. Okay, so there's B and E. This one is definitely not correct. This one is also not correct. So I have this and this. Good. Which tasks require use of the AWS account root user? Choose two. Need add the additional one. Yes, Kubernetes is out. And you typed only E. So add the additional one. Okay. So Prince says B and E. So let me write this question down. I conf. Okay. So we choose B and E. Hey, sorry, A and E. That's the majority. A and E, right? Okay, so Angela also said B and E. All right, so we had two people saying B and E. Okay. Host says A and E, A and E. A company needs to run an application on Amazon EC2 instances. The running workload cannot be interrupted. The company needs an instance purchasing option that requires no commitment. Which instance option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? So we are looking at cannot be interrupted. Okay, so Angela says B. So let me also write this question down. So we have the majority choosing A. According to the AWS shared responsibility model, which of the following tasks are AWS responsibilities? Select 2. Okay. AK ANC, host ANC, Godman ANC, Bridget ANC, Prince ANC, Angela ANC, Rhodes ANC, Josephine ANC. Okay, great. So ANC. All right. What benefits does Amazon recognition provide? A.
Aji. Dia lutu.
Also what that? Okay, but I think I feel how the Lotto is coming. So I think today I made some West Note in the groove. That is what has actually come into my mind. Some of the times, you just look at you think about it logically to see, say, Charlie, this one. Forget about the technical term and then think about it logically. So,
no.
All right, so B. All right, because the majority will be A. Okay, nice. A company wants to build a data analytics application that uses Amazon Redshift. The company needs cost estimates for its future Amazon Redshift usage. Which AWS tool will provide a high level cost estimation? Hey, why am I saying estimation? Okay. So be move. A company wants to ensure that 2 Amazon EC2 instances are in separate data centers with minimal communication latency between the data centers. How can the company meet this requirement? With minimal communication latency. Okay. AK says B, host says B, Prince says B. Oh, Asa. Seyon B, Sita says B. Benji says B. Okay. All right. Which AWS database service provides in-memory data storage? So we are looking at a database service. Benji says A. I'm seeing B. Who says B? Okay, so I saw A somewhere, right? All right, so let me put this question also down. Question 34. All right. What are characteristics of AWS IAM users and groups? We're selecting two. I think yesterday we had a similar question like this. We are selecting two. So B and C. A user can be a member of multiple groups. Groups can contain users only and cannot be nested. Okay, B and C. A company is launching a new application in the AWS cloud. The application will run on an Amazon EC2 instance. More EC2 instances will be added when the workload increases. Which AWS service or tool can the company use to launch the number of EC2 instances that will be needed to handle the workload? This one is wholesale price. Angela, you type D. Is it your final answer? Let me write it. Question 36. A company needs to audit its AWS resources. The company must document any changes that have been made to the resources. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? The company must document any changes that have been made to the resources. Okay, so there I beg, just type the letters A, B, C, D, then we'll go, right? So D, C, B. Who says D? When says D?
iPhone, your child is crying. Oh, please mute.
Okay, kindly mute your mic. Or in a bed.
Mute.
Mute them. So, wow, there's A also. Sita also says D. Who says D? You will they type your answers all over, you know what? So I see D, I see B, I see A, and I see B. So far, the B is majority. B. Okay, I see B. All right. A company has a Java web application. The company wants to use auto deployment to create the AWS environment and deploy new versions of its application. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? This one is also wholesale, Anna. Godman. Godman, why you type the B 3 times? All right. Which AWS service can generate a finding when personally identifiable information is stored within an Amazon bucket, Amazon S3 bucket?
But
Which
there's no day when I step this one inside.
you know the inside, but it's in scope. It's in scope of the CCP. Prince, we talked about this thing before.
I know,
So I'm seeing B. So a service can generate a finding when personally identifiable information is stored within an S3 bucket. Okay, so let me see. I'm seeing B. All right. And Bridget, exam center, no sorry. You choose and then you will go. You choose and move forward. Okay, so more B's and a few D's. There's E also. Let me write it down. Okay, so we have B as the majority. All right, so what is an IAM best practice for AWS account root user access keys? This one is also wholesale. Make we no keep long. So anytime you hear the question or you read the question, first say the answer in your head. Hey, who is the MBA no? Okay.
Today, this is your host time.
Eh? Well, I was today. Okay. Or you say the four other people when they do that.
No, the B no be from the other.
The other
Okay,
guy,
so two guys did in my bag. They say it be B.
You see what you forget them now. You say yeah.
make it no mind up.
Which AWS service uses machine learning to identify sensitive data that is stored in Amazon S3 buckets? So, was it Abdul that said this thing? That sometimes you might not know the question, but the next question can help you answer a previous question. This is a typical case. You know, they do expert session. Abdul Hakim, you do expert session.
Are you? Who is the you?
Who are you? Okay, so B. So the Abdul guy, like he seems to know, but it feels like some tension.
Confidence.
Yeah, is it today that it is sweat?
Then it sweat. It take you like play, but
Which AWS service can be used to migrate an active on-premises database to the AWS cloud? Okay. Let me write this question down. Okay. D. Which AWS service provides somebody chose B. Okay. Mokugo. Which AWS service provides a simple way to set up a new multi-account environment and govern it at scale? This is why the Muntulutu. Muntulutu. Trusted advisor is definitely out. Benji, Exam Center, there's no So I see D, C, D, C, C, Luto. D, D.
Isa, da. If you know you answer one.
I see B. Okay, D. Nobody choose A so far. So Luto D. Okay. Oh, Hakim. I eliminate A, you still can't choose A. Okay, that's your answer anyway. Set up a new multi-account at AWS environment and govern it at scale. Okay.
Time to go.
And so let me see the C Luto. So where did it start from? I think it started from Papa's phone. So C, so let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So which AWS service offers the most cost-effective means of storing static image? This one is also wholesale price. Okay, so the A's are flying. The A's are flying in. Which AWS benefits enables users to deploy cloud infrastructure that consists of multiple geographic regions connected by a network with low latency, high throughput, and redundancy? This one is also they've given us all the keywords, all the sentence. So you see, as I said yesterday, that some of the questions they take the full sentence from their website, BAM. So we have global reach. Which of the following will help a user determine if they need to request a VPC service limit increase? Which of the following will help a user determine if they need to request a VPC service limit increase? Munima Montuloto. So I see B, I see D, BD. Okay, BC, sorry, C. So 2 C's, 2 D's, 2 B's. AB, A, C, B. A. Rosemond, you missed 2 sessions. Continuous. The first one there now we'll see ECG have visited you. B for what? B for what? So I think the B is balloon. Okay, so I think we have can see. Okay, so we have, I think yes, the B's are more. Okay.
Me, I read briquettes. It be AWS 10. People read them wrong. With briquettes.
So how we read them?
How will we read them?
The answer is in the air.
Okay, so we have Masani, you know, go fit bring that in for here.
Chairman. Now you know how many dogs they call them me for my area.
If we will study for them.
Okay, so B plenty, so we'll choose B. What is an AWS best practice for managing an AWS account root user? It's a best practice. So there are, okay. Right.
This one, the MFA. Too small go.
Which, oh, okay, Akim chose C, so let me put it down.
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, that's
Charlie, the way they see Akim there.
no, I mean the majority has been B, so probably I'm sure that's what he meant, but it doesn't make any difference.
He's going to choose B, and it was a typo.
Which architecture design principle applies to the concept of right sizing the AWS cloud infrastructure? So right sizing. I'll see how you know. So right sizing. Okay. Ophelia says A. Godman says B. Benji says A. Niayete says B. Angela now says A. Bridget says A. Papa's phone says A. Prince says A. Who says A? A going. A going one. Going two. Going to. Okay, gone. Which of the following are security principles in the AWS well-architected framework? Select two. Security principles. Select two. BD. BD. DBs. Which AWS service should be used to monitor Amazon EC2 instance for CPU and network utilization? Okay. All right. C. According to the AWS shared responsibility model, which task is the responsibility of AWS for workloads running on Amazon EC2? So AWS responsibility on running Amazon EC2 workloads that are running. Okay. A. Okay. Papa says E. Hey. Okay, A. Like you go home. A system automatically recovers from failure when a company launches its workload on the AWS Cloud Services platform. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this situation demonstrate? Abba. Hey. A company wants to continuously.
Okay, we'll move on. I wanted to augment, but
Now you want to explain?
we'll go back. Go
Okay.
back. So if let's say we remove C, the performance, and we put high
Fault tolerance.
availability,
High availability. Okay.
which one you go choose?
And so they don't go bring out. No, with the in a well-architected framework, okay, there is high availability. No, high availability and
Nah,
fault.
you
No,
know
high
they
availability and fault
inside.
tolerance are all part of reliability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah.
So
So
the best answer, if high availability, the best answer would be reliable. Because if
yeah.
and down,
And
we
exactly.
high availability will be part of the pillars.
Pillars. Yeah.
Mhm. Abdul Hakim, yeah.
Yes. High availability is not a pillar. A company wants to continuously monitor AWS account activity. So keyword here is what? Account activity, including actions taken through the AWS Management Console, AWS Software Development Kit, and command line tools. Which service meets these requirements? This one is also wholesale price. Okay. So I've seen a different answer here. So question 53. So D, and then there was one C. So, okay. Which AWS service or feature can a developer use to access AWS services programmatically? This one is also wholesale price. Wholesale price in there, we have to answer within 2 seconds. Oh, Benji, make somebody type some. SDK. Benji, you go and stand outside. In fact, kneel down. Yes. B. A cloud practitioner is developing a disaster recovery plan and intends to replicate data between multiple geographic areas. Which component of the AWS cloud should the company use to meet these requirements? So keyword here is what? Multiple geographic areas. Okay, so I'm saying C, and then B, and then plenty B's. So question 55. I'll be on the phone. Right, regions. Wait. A company wants eight employees to have access to virtual desktop infrastructure to securely access company-provided desktop through the employees' personal devices. Which AWS service should a company use to meet these requirements? Ebinie. Who says some of the questions are non-scored? No? Okay. I like how the answers are coming. To me, this is like a smart one. Okay. And he says A, question 56. Okay, so the D were a lot. Which of the following is a benefit of using an AWS managed service? I'm seeing A.
Like this question, read and finish. Which of the following is a benefit of using an AWS managed service? Choose the best answer.
As easy I don't read and finish. I'll go, but despite it.
As
I
if we
despite-
see something we know this.
That's why we use the choose the best answer.
Choose the best answer. Okay, so we are having a lot of A's. A company hosts an application on Amazon EC2 instance. The just as you go better, the EC2 instance needs to access several AWS resources, including Amazon S3 and Amazon DynamoDB. Just as you did here, what is the most operationally efficient solution to delegate permissions? The company hosts an application on Amazon EC2. The EC2 instance needs to access several AWS resources, including Amazon S3 and Amazon DynamoDB. What is the most operationally efficient solution to delegate permissions? The Papa's phone chose D. Host says B. Okay, so 58. But majority is A. So A. A large company has a workload that requires hardware to remain on premises. The company wants to use the same management and control plane services that it currently uses on AWS. Which AWS service should the company use to meet this requirement? Papes, which one is your answer? Type it again. Okay, C. It also says C. Okay, C. Which tasks are the customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two. So we are choosing two. So customer's responsibility, remove anything that has to do with hardware, right? Okay. So A. Nice. AD. Which AWS service or tool can a company use to visualize, understand, and manage AWS spending and usage over time? Wholesale price. Wow, see the way the answer come boom. Nice. According to the AWS shared responsibility model, which security related tasks are the customer's responsibility? Select 2. So elimination, remove anything that has to do with hardware. So B and E. And E, B and E. Okay, so B and E. A web developer is concerned that a DDoS attack could target an application. Which AWS service or features can help protect against such attack?
Select 2. Select 2.
Select 2. Select 2. Hey, yeah, Randy. We
Fala say yeah, then you go
we with the select 2. Select 2. Let's start again. A and what? So I see A and D, C, A and C. A and C. Hey, Papas. Papas, I'm not sure that is what you want to type.
I one type. I type.
A and A is the same. So, okay, so majority is A, C. Question 63. Okay, I've noted it. An online retail company has seasonal sales spikes several times a year, primarily around holidays. Demand is lower at other times. The company finds it difficult to predict the increasing infrastructure demand for each season. Which advantages of moving to the AWS cloud would most benefit the company? Select 2. Hey, Monkai.
Hey, select 2 no Monshana. Hey, you boo.
There be someone who can my.
And the Monshas
Some people have eyes bad though, but their brain they work, so then they listen.
Someone I know, she is sleeping, but the brain is working. Select 2. Sorry. Okay, so B and E. Which service can a customer use to set up a management payer account to view consolidated billing reports? Last one. This one, I'm waiting for plenty answers. People that I have not seen before. Oh, go and stand outside small. This one, I want plenty answers. Plenty. Those of you who haven't typed some sense. How many are we? We are 35. We have 35 people on the call. Yes, we need plenty answers. Plenty. They burn maths. Some are asleep. It's not true. Yes, I understand some are asleep, but plenty today online. See the what you type.
See, you see Sita in life.
If you like, should I remove somebody? The person will join right, you know. Because they are not asleep, yeah. If you like, let's end this meeting and then share the link. Share the link again. You see how many people will join. Okay, so we had these. Some people stubborn academy. You can't then cry on view on. Okay. Are you okay? You have reviewed. I have reviewed my answers and I would like to submit them. We are okay with it. We are all okay with what we chose, right?
So the thing you say go come if they do the answers for the
Yes.
Charlie.
If you so right, are you okay?
Encore.
Okay. Okay, no, which of the questions? So that we'll go back to it. We still have 15 minutes.
I beg submit them.
Submit. Something about cost optimization. Okay, that's fine. So we'll look at it when we are doing the review. Well done. We'll be ready soon.
Hey, we have failed.
Where is it?
After 1 minute.
So after 1 minute. So and then right size.
Okay. Yeah, but people them wiki though. So they go do it. You do the
hey, your heart's gonna cut too. Hey, Charlie, this one they know.
You will play those that beats in your head. Bing bing bing. Mummy ending come on. Prince Moku do roll call.
Yeah, the girls first, ladies first.
Is he say now will be 35, right? You can't make 37 safe. You people they
hey, Josephine, that I don't hear your voice before.
Drum roll. Josephine, you not heard your voice before. Say hi.
Say hi to us.
Hey guys.
Hi.
What yeah. Share.
Peasy. Yeah, guys.
Me.
Your voice will be sexy.
I go mute you, no go talk again. I said the AK no, it be shoddy.
I don't know.
Hi AK.
Yeah, 1 minute pass.
Wait. We are doing roll call.
Guys, you made her speak yesterday. Have you forgotten?
AK.
AK, yes.
Oh, Hene, I spoke yesterday.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Okay,
sorry. Angela Sebunsu, say hi. Wada.
Stubborn Academy.
Are you asleep or Stubborn Academy?
Routes.
Hi, Routes.
Hi, guys.
Can I refresh the page?
Oh yeah. Keep quiet.
Keep quiet.
Hi guys, I'm not asleep. Hi.
Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Hey.
We
Pass outcome. Okay, we pass.
Pass.
Overall score 875 out of 1,000. Everybody clap for yourself.
Oh, pat. Again.
Send clapping emoji. Everybody's
again.
7.5%.
Yes, so it's 7.5%.
A whole cohort. This is what you get.
Teamwork. Send clapping emoji. Say everybody send clapping emoji.
You buy that, then people will get less than this. Chairman. Group work expand then I forget like 90 plus.
Oh,
No, but
chairman, this one,
no, Abi, we were just going with the majority. We're not doing the usual.
yeah, people
This
too they follow people them answers.
answers.
Majority people, if you do answer included, that people go bomb. You did there.
No, be true.
You make it.
It don't be true.
That they don't go delay.
You
Your
dey lie.
hypothesis,
You
your
dey lie.
hypothesis no get
This
That be your-
hypothesis is wrong.
yeah, you don't
Yes.
get busy.
You don't get base.
That
No
one say
problem.
go score past this one.
If
Charlie,
you
make
go
we
face
review. Make we review.
if you go face
If you had a click where you know they come. View item details. Okay. Aha, so we got question. Beautiful question. That was question 7, right? Yes, I wrote it down. So yes.
this one be VPN.
Yes.
What do
so
you go choose? You go choose route 50s.
we chose direct connect.
How? Okay.
And because you
majority.
see, yes, majority. So a company is moving its office and must establish an encrypted connection to AWS.
If you meet the Okampe, we choose VPN.
Yeah, it be and we feel review, so that's what we are doing.
I see how. Yeah, Rosemond.
Yeah, so you can use direct connect to privately connect your on-premises network to the cloud. However, communication over direct connect is not encrypted. Yeah, so encrypted was stated.
Yeah, it's only for speed.
This one we're going with the majority, and then I didn't say anything too, so this is it. So it's AWS VPN. And there was another question. Even before this.
Select the one we did that one talk, make we see.
Look, we check the wrong ones first, then we go check the ones you
wrong one.
write down.
The wrong ones, you know, the first one, you know, select them.
If you said I select them.
No. If the
This
second one, yeah, you know, select that one.
Okay. So a company wants to improve its security and audit posture by limiting Amazon EC to instance inbound access. And yes, we're choosing D. Network AC. I think that was the question. I wanted to understand why we were choosing the network ACL. So the correct answer is systems manager, session manager. A session manager is a node management service for cloud or for on-premises compute units. Session manager provides a secure connection through shell scripting. You can establish the connection without the need to open ports. ACL is an additional layer of security for your VPC. Network ACLs act as firewall that controls traffic in and out of one or more subnets. You would not use network ACLs to connect to EC2 instance remotely.
If you are able to absorb 10, when you add 10 and another 10, then 3 will be lost from the first 10.
Yeah. I'm used to okay. And this one too. Question 9. Yeah, so somebody chose bucket versioning. Who was that? If you can come up, kindly come and explain. So which feature can be used to protect Amazon S3 buckets from accidental overwrites or deletion?
I choose bucket versioning.
Version, so I beg explain giveaway.
Because when you talk about accidental overwriting,
right?
Accidental overwriting, if you version them, you no go delete the previous one, you go version them. So maybe the old one you get version 1, the one you come do next one it could be version 1.1.
Yeah.
So you no go overwrite
the previous one. Alright.
So you go version a man. So maybe the one you feel say be better, you go pick them.
Okay. Is
But
anybody that has
make we read.
Then
Make
go
we
and
read what
make
the
we read what they put.
yeah.
Yeah.
So bucket version gives you the ability to maintain multiple versions of an object in an S3 bucket. Therefore, if you accidentally delete or overwrite an object, Amazon S3 does not remove the object permanently. Instead, Amazon S3 inserts a delete marker for the objects in buckets with versioning turned on. This feature gives you the ability to restore the previous versions of every object that is stored in the bucket. And the one we chose was you can use server-side encryption to protect data that is stored in Amazon S3. However, server-side encryption does not prevent or overwrite, prevent overwrite or deletions. Okay.
Yeah, you start again.
Yes.
So here we got it correct.
Boy,
This one, how we see the okay. Question 18. This is 15. Hey. All right. So a company needs to transfer 60 terabytes of data to the AWS cloud in a secure manner. Right? Which of the following? So make somebody experience Snowball Edge. I've been experienced Snowball, sir.
so you want to hear a lady's voice? Make a lady explain.
Yes. Hello, ladies.
Proud.
Okay, this one. Before I mention him, voluntarily raise up your hand. Ladies only. Hey, they are running away. Busy, you know, be woman.
Make it okay.
Okay, Busy, you can talk. Busy, you can talk. Or maybe by mistake.
You raise your hand, call it to be one. Oh, what did you do as the answer?
Hi, Bridget.
What be name? Isaac.
Yeah.
Shall I Google if maybe go see if you see the device in picture?
Okay. So this is how it looks like.
Atomic bomb. So are you supposed to connect this to your network, right?
Yes, you connect this to your network and then transfer the data onto it, and then you you ship it. So you ship it back to them.
Oh no, relax. Relax. With this version, is it that it transfers the data to the cloud, or it saves it like a hard drive, then you ship it to them? Please check that, because it seems like this one you connect it and it transmits.
And transmit, okay.
No, I think it's a transmission device. It doesn't save it.
It's securely.
Okay. Let me click this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so for select capability, can do local processing and then edge computing workloads in addition to transferring data between your local environment and the AWS cloud faster than the internet. Okay, this transport is done by shipping the data in the appliances through regional carrier.
Okay.
The appliances are rugged, complete with E-Link shipping labels. What do you guys?
Okay.
And so you go send it back to them, Anna.
If they do you go save them for the device stop and ship them, or as they do,
Yes.
then they copy straight.
And they come. Make a check another listing.
If you go copy, why for ship device again? Let me say this.
I mean the device you know buy them.
The device you know buy
the
am.
device. The device where they enable the quick if in case it upload down straight the device they enable the quick upload, but you know buy them so they for ship them back.
Yeah.
But
So
in case it is save them like pen drive to
And what are the topics?
no.
If the device go aid the quick upload to the cloud, then you just upload it, use the device to upload it and send the device back. But this one they're saying you put the thing on the device, send it to them, and they will upload it into the cloud.
Yeah, so they have like systems that will enable like that fast data transfer, right? So you will connect it to your device, and you know, device to device transfer is more faster, right? And it also has like a higher transfer rate. So they will bring the device to you, you put your data on it, and then you now ship it back to them. And
the device doesn't do the transmission.
No.
It's
just like
what Prince was saying.
That was the question was trying to
Prince understanding was that okay, let's say understanding was that the device is a medium to speed up the transfer. But what you have to put the data on the device and send it to them, and they will use that device to upload it to your cloud for you.
Edge or add the edge. Okay, I think the first one is okay. 7 years ago. You we don't hear audio.
Oh.
If I select system audio, share system audio.
Share audio, yeah.
35 people on call.
Sometimes you need to do more than just transfer data, like, analyze it, or run a custom app in a remote location, even on a truck or on a ship. That's what Snowball Edge can do. With embedded computing power and support for EC2 AMIs and AWS Lambda, you can run virtualized applications at the edge as you would in the cloud, like running analytics or machine learning at the data collection point, pre-processing IoT sensor or log data, or transcoding media streams without having to get it to the cloud to process it. For example, in manufacturing, you can efficiently monitor equipment health data without investing in expensive infrastructure. Or on vehicles that travel long distances without a network connection, you can collect and analyze data without having to wait to get to the cloud. Or in harsh mining or energy operations that lack reliable connectivity, you can pre-process, filter, and transform without storage costs or a lag time to react. In any case, you just connect one or more Snowball Edge devices to your on-premises network, integrating with your workflows through standard data storage interfaces. Collect up to 100 terabytes of data, or even reach petabyte scale by clustering multiple Snowball Edge devices while running the compute tasks you need for immediate results. Then send the devices back to AWS. Your data will be migrated to the cloud, where it can connect to all our other powerful AWS services in the shortest time possible. Get started today with just a few clicks. Learn more at aws.amazon.com/snowballedge.
So you will send the device back to them.
Okay, so basically, what it do, we say, it be remote or it be mobile server.
Yeah.
Where they get more businesses where they don't get proper connection. Yeah. They go use them, do your collection, do your whatever, finish. So you move them, you finish where you send them back to them. then they will provision the cloud based on whatever the folks record.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So all the Snow family, that be how then they work. So the bigger one be the mobile, no? That one then they carry them in truck. And then we'll bring them to your
I
on-prem.
think it's not all about the remote area. So if you want to move a large amount of data, you can also use it to.
Yes. If you want to use like that, like petabyte of data, that is very huge. I mean, it will cost you a lot of like internet data. So you just get the any device, depending on your capacity, any device of the Snow family, and then you do that and you send it back to them.
So those who usually say even Amazon workers don't know where the data centers are, is this then they lie?
And also, probably they know they send them to the data center, then they go do the transfer. Probably they have offices where they can even do it.
But
right?
come on, the data center, it will be robotic. Human being they clean there. You know, we go not say Amazon was data center.
No, you know, say the data centers they know where they be, but they don't know who intends data.
Data,
Oh yeah, of course. But people usually say they don't know. People don't. Even their workers don't know where the data centers are.
No, I mean themselves. They in one of the modules they talk that thing. Say even the data centers are like discrete places, and then not even staff of their staff know where they are.
Unless maybe use some top level manager or something.
Oh, they will know.
But you know how them build up. Nobody know how them build up. You know, we want me the way you build up.
And I went to Google right now. You get some formation we are seeing.
If the one the guy they show me for they'll say they built for US on play, the new one be be picture we take this one. You carry one of the models they show us some picture be for the New York US on place be say they build that center. They go know, but it's just that maybe a few number of people go know.
Yeah.
And then this one, question 19. A company does not own a physical data center but needs a network solution that connects employee laptops directly to the AWS cloud. Right. So, and then here we choose client's VPN. Why? And I must say elimination.
Oh, yeah, elimination. But the answer to the question inside.
Yeah. Employee laptop.
Where you put the phone, where you did.
I don't know where you did the talks. You did far from your.
You did far from your phone.
They're very close to this one.
Which phone you did?
Did you hear me now?
Yeah, we did hear you.
I know this laptop. I say because there is laptop inside there, that means it's a client VPN.
VPN,
right. If it was host to host or server to server, then it will become AWS VPN.
But the answers and the other options, they know the
other options they know they do that thing because Outpost is a managed infrastructure service. Snowball Edge is that on storage thing that we part of the Snowball family, and then CloudFront is a content delivery. So most definitely. And the question.
Are you sure if this kind of question they will take them? This question where they look like C00.
Yes, did I did a call top? So the 38 questions will that be the kind of questions? So it'll be almost like this one. So that'll be C02 questions. Yes, do you want to be C02 questions?
Yeah, they suspect the C02 come like September.
So
for like a couple of months, they're not going to give you any hard
giddy team there like that. Yeah.
But now they provision those questions.
Yeah.
We go write
so
like
people in the write exams by now. They don't learn the C02. We will be human beings, so we will make some assumptions.
Yes.
Why you dare the talk now?
Right. So question 28 too, we had people with different answers. With IAM root user, yes, that is what you can do. You can use it to restore the administrator permissions, and you can as well use it to close an AWS account. Right. There's also another one that says you are able to use it to change your plans, right? Your AWS support plans and all that. So that's what you can use the account to do. And question 29, we also had, so a company needs to run an application on Amazon EC2 instances. The running workload cannot be interrupted. So here, the first thing is the workload cannot be interrupted. The company needs an instance purchasing option that requires no commitment. Which instance purchase option will meet this requirement most cost effectively? Now, spot instances are for workloads that can stand interruptions, right? In as much as like they have the highest discount rate, but they are for systems that can stand interruptions, because you can buy it in the next moment AWS is taking their thing back because somebody has actually outbid you or something. Dedicated hosts give you like your ability to use your server bound licenses. However, they are very expensive, right? So it wouldn't be the most cost effective. And reserved instances, in as much as there are no upfront, type of reserved instances, you are still committing to it, right? So it wouldn't be the most cost effective. So the most cost effective, as far as this question is concerned, is the on-demand instances. And then question 24. Question 34. Yeah, so which AWS database service provides in-memory data storage? And that's Elastic Cache. So Elastic Cache, more or less like it's a caching service for the database, right? So it saves information in memory, right? Data that is frequently accessed or stuff that are frequently accessed, you are able to access it. So that's what it is. I think most people also choose RDS. So RDS itself is a fully like managed relational database engine, right? So it's a database engine, and it doesn't. And these Aurora, SQL, all those things doesn't provide that kind of in-memory storage. I think we had
the time stream build.
It's also database service for time series data that you can persist to durable storage. Therefore, time stream. Look, I just search on this one where they help. Okay, so it's time series database or time stream scalables. All right.
Eventually, you search the Macy, that Macy thing.
Yeah, Macy, okay. So it makes it easier to store and analyze trillions of events per day, up to 1,000 times faster. So Amazon Time Stream automatically scales up or down to adjust capacity and performance so that you don't have to manage underlying infrastructure.
But this one too.
Okay, so let me look at use cases that sometimes they bring use cases. So for IoT applications, DevOps applications, and then analytics applications.
So for big data.
Yeah. So Mercy is for sensitive data recovery and protection. So if you so we go talk, sir, then you will go and meet them.
You meet them, we will do.
We will do they fear. So yes, Messi is for sensitive data discovery and then protection. Discover and protect your sensitive data escape. What is in there?
Charlie,
Yeah, we dey hear you.
the question is
We don't hear you.
You say what? Shall we change your microphone?
I say some question be there. You hear me now?
Yeah.
There's a question that has to do with this CIA, the facial recognition.
Yeah, we'll get to them. I forget the number. I'll write all the numbers here, but
Recognition.
yeah, Amazon recognition. So 36 is launching a new application in the cloud, and the application will run on an Amazon EC2 instance, right? More EC2 instance will be needed when the workload increases. So which tool can the company use to launch the number of EC2 instances that will be needed to handle the workload? And that is auto-scaling, right? You use auto-scaling to create your auto-scaling groups, right? So that it will automatically make more EC2 instances available to handle the load for your application. I think somebody chose, is it systems manager or so, right? That is not it. So systems manager offers features to manage and to gain operational insight into resources on AWS, on-premises, and other clouds. Systems manager does not launch additional EC2 instances to handle the increased load on an application. And that was 37. Yeah, so a company needs to audit its resources. The company must document any changes that have been made to their resources. And yes, some choose CloudWatch. So CloudWatch collects and tracks metrics to help monitor AWS resources in real time. CloudWatch does not audit or document changes to AWS resources. So the right answer is Config. So Config is a fully managed service that can provide inventory and configuration history audit reports of AWS resources. So there's also another type that says you want to audit access and something for your resources. That's also AWS config. And there was question 39, which so this is it. This is for the Massey. So finding, right? Generate a finding when personally identifiable information is stored within an Amazon S3 bucket, and that is Massey. So Massey applies machine learning and pattern matching techniques to identify sensitive data, including PII. Massey can generate a finding of sensitive data. Massey can generate a finding if sensitive data is found. You can select specific S3 bucket for Massey to search. That was question 42. Which service can be used to migrate an active on-premises database to the cloud? Yes, that was the DMS. Right. Database migration service. So it helps you.
Somebody choose A.
Yeah. Storage gateways is more or less like a storage service, right? So it helps you, it provides you with on-premises access to cloud storage, and then you will not use storage gateway to migrate an active database. So database migration is DBMS. And who remembers application migration database?
Application migration service.
Service, sorry. Don't read for me. We talked about it here. So yes, you can go ahead.
Lift and shift.
If you want to move hardware to the
so yes,
move the host server, not the the database software
Exactly.
itself. Then
So you want to lift the database server itself. So the entire database and its server. That's where you use the application migration service, right? And then so that's question 42. So 43 also. Okay, we got this one wrong. Which AWS service provides a simple way to set up a new multi-account AWS environment and govern it at scale? Most of us chose Resource Access Manager. I think yes, this one we didn't know. So yes, we chose Control Access Manager. But the right answer is Resource Access Manager gives you the ability to share AWS resources with any AWS account within AWS organization. Okay. And then Control Tower provides you with the ability to set up, govern, and manage multiple AWS accounts. What's it?
So what will be the difference between this one and the organization?
So I was about to say that if there was an organization, we would have chosen that one. So set up, govern, and manage multiple. Okay, so let's see. AWS.
some of the things there.
I think there is a difference between this one and organizations because it's quite they have human being go learn something, then you go see.
Okay, Control Tower and AWS. Okay. Charlie, yeah, go. Yeah, go way information fatigue. That's what they call it. Yes, information fatigue. What's a BB about dream? Control Tower offers a straightforward way to set up and govern an AWS multi-account environment. And also the AWS Control Tower orchestration extends to the capabilities of AWS organizations. So what are the use cases for AWS organizations? As a service in a Guan. Account management application, massive VPC.
The Control Tower is under the organization. Oh.
From the definition, it looks like organization is even rather under Control Tower.
I agree that again make us see because
see, services that
so
work
it says AWS Control Tower orchestration extends the capability of AWS. No. So yeah, so Control Tower is under organization.
AWS organization.
Okay.
It's like a branch of AWS organization.
So yeah, so the Oga Pata, so that's it. So the Oga is the organizations, and then the component that lets you create and then set up the multi-account, whatever, or govern the multi-account is the Control Tower. So just like the encryption, the service that allows you to create encryption keys is what? KMS.
Yeah.
Actually, wait,
so AWS Control Tower orchestration extends the capabilities of AWS organizations.
It extends the capabilities, which means Cloud Tower has more capabilities than organizations. And I'm a bro of one.
No. See, if you look at
I extend your capabilities.
Look at the left pane. You
So
see that services that work with organization. When I go down small, services that work with organization. Under that, where we could see the cloud.
That be where we get the Control Tower, the config, the CloudTrail. So all these ones are capabilities that
work with organization.
That work with organization. Yes, but like, just imagine. So even for organizations alone, see, artifact all day here. We say we like.
Purpose phone type something. So
yeah. So Control Tower is like a super organized event planner who manages and coordinates all the different aspects of a big event. They ensure that everything runs smoothly from setting up the venue to handling. Okay. On the other hand, organization is like a company with different departments. Each department has its own responsibilities and rules, but they all work together under the umbrella of the organization. So similarly, AWS organizations help you organize and manage your AWS account in a hierarchical structure, with each account having its own policies and permissions. Okay. I think it makes sense. Is there?
I don't tire.
You know the Bob?
Tire.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh.
And
Charlie, we go fit do the ones we get wrong.
C01.
Then we go feed what?
The ones where we get wrong, no, the answers where we don't get correctly. Then we
And
see
so
that one,
I'm actually going through the ones that we had
Okay,
varieties
okay.
of answers. So
Okay,
that
okay.
people that
Alright.
choose otherwise will understand
Then
why
we
it's
go know our faith.
exactly.
Okay, all right.
So 46. So which of the following will help a user determine if they need to request a VPC service, a VPC service limit increase, right? So yes, that was trusted advice. I think another was cost and usage reports. Yes, that's the other answer.
Can you choose that one? You can.
Yes, cost and usage reports tracks your
Let me look at
AWS.
the question. Mine would be the graphical something.
Yeah. When we talked about the graph, you want to visualize what. So it's a trusted advisor that performs checks on your AWS environment and makes recommendations for improvement. One of these checks includes VPC service limit checks, which you can use to determine if you need a VPC limit
Let's say
increase.
the word there is help a user.
Yes, will help a user.
So
And
to assist you to know the state of your VPC.
and just like BJ said, trusted advisor looks out for you. I did like that statement. Wow. And oh wow, 18 we. Correct answer is which architecture design principles applies to the applies to the concept of right sizing. So that is where is it Angela that asks for this?
Yeah. So who asked it?
No, so that was AK. That was AK. Yeah, so right sizing. Which architecture design principle applies to the concept of right sizing the AWS cloud infrastructure? So you can scale horizontally to increase aggregate workload availability as part of the reliability pillar. However,
optimize for cost too.
Oh, okay. However, this solution does not relate to right sizing. So it means that the right sizing is about cost or what? You can use metrics from the currently running workloads to select the right size.
So why do you right size? Why do you right size? Because of cost.
Yes, to optimize for cost. This solution is one of the
Those
best.
questions I was posting on the page. There's some app we.
And I did inside there. But yes, this right sizing question, I think we meet ESD or 2 days ago, but the question was different. And it was different. We selected 2, and I remember we even used utilization patterns was part of it. Okay, so now we know that right sizing. Immediately we see right sizing, we are talking about costs. And which of the following are security? Let me see question. Okay, 49 are security principles in the AWS well-architected framework. Yeah, so monitor alerts and audit actions and changes to AWS resources. So monitoring is part of security. And D was protect data in transit and at rest. think there was analyze and attribute expenditures. This one is cost. Expenditures has to do with cost, so cost optimization. And globally in minutes talks about performance efficiency. Whilst operation as a code is also operational excellence. And question 52. A system automatically recovers from failure when a company launches its workload on the AWS cloud service platform. Which pillar? That's reliability, right? When the system is able to recover, right? Focus on workloads that perform their intended functions and how to recover quickly from failure to meet demands. So one of the design principles of the reliability pillar is automatic recovery from failure. Yeah, no. That's where we debated. Say we asked that if there was high availability, and then we said that high availability and reliability, fault tolerance are all part of the reliability pillar. 53. Company wants to continuously monitor AWS account activity, right? Including actions taken through the AWS management console, software development kits and the command line tools. Yeah, so immediately you see account activity, actions taken, and it means it's user focused. And what we use to monitor that is what? CloudTrail. Right. So CloudTrail monitors and logs activity in an AWS account. CloudWatch monitors resources. Right. Trusted Advisor inspects the environment and then make recommendations. Inspector also searches for your software vulnerabilities and then the intended network exposure in select AWS resources. 53. 55. A cloud practitioner is developing a disaster recovery plan and intends to replicate data between multiple geographic areas. So here I also said what? Geographic areas. That's the key word. So merely are talking about geographic areas. We are talking about regions, right? Availability zones are discrete data centers with redundant power. So those ones are within a region. They don't span across what's it called? Geographical areas. So the right answer is regions. And question 56. A company wants its employees to have access to virtual desktop infrastructure to securely access company provided desktop through the employee's personal devices, sorry. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? And yes, Amazon Workspaces. I think this one, the question that we had with Dari had a similar thing, right? So we are talking about virtual desktop, and we got to understand that Workspace, even though I don't know if it was me, but the explanation they gave, I didn't understand. But I mean, but this question actually has made me understand it well. So we are looking at a virtual desktop infrastructure. So that's the Workspace. Can run a cloud desktop directly on many kinds of devices. Yes. So you can run on PC, Mac, or Kindle Fire. Therefore, users can securely interact with company provided desktops through their personal devices. And 58. A company hosts an application on Amazon EC2 instance. The EC2 instance needs to access several AWS resources, including Amazon S3 and Amazon DynamoDB. What is the most operationally efficient solution to delegate permissions? So as we said, that when it comes to applications performing certain actions or accessing several other services or resources, right? Most especially Amazon S3, then the application need to assume a role, right? Since it is not something that it will even be doing frequently. So you assume their role anytime you want to do it, you assume their role and then you take the action. When you are done, it goes off. So it's just like you using SSH. you'll be using the sudo command, super user do. Anything that you want to do, you have to type sudo blah 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 and you do it. If you want to do it again, you have to type sudo again. So you have to assume that temporal role and then do whatever you want to do till you are done. So that is the most operational efficient way, right? Or security efficient way. So you create the IAM role with the required permissions and then you attach the role to the EC2 instance, right? Creating a user and you're creating a user and then you're using it. What?
The industry inside we did, some of the things we do, there's security groups, is authorization. We use it though, but we use it in different contexts.
Yeah.
Integrate two systems. They use this IAM.
We know they do IAM rules, yes. We just
they do security, what do you call them? Security groups, then connect.
We connect them. So every day the person just go get access.
So you have to unlearn the relearn.
Relearn, exactly. Because to check, like, you get your room, right? And then you probably, yes, your parties they access them. But if or not we say you go give them key, then every day they like it and they come.
But sometimes in integration you just for do some API keys. So I was drawn to the C rather instead of the A.
Okay, create the user and use its access key and secret access key to create a CLI profile in the EC2. But with here, it's still it's just you using programmatic access to create a user, right? With the C, it says create an IAM user and use its access and then secret key to create a CLI profile in the EC2.
I choose some other one, but I don't see no be D2. So I think I chose B rather. D.
Yeah.
Create the IAM is the access key, the API keys come on where I go challenge. And they are going to read the question 4 times.
I swear. A large company has a workload that requires hardware to remain on premises. The company wants to use the same management and control plane services that it currently uses on AWS. So I think here too. Yes, that was Outpost, but I think somebody chose is it? I've forgotten. If that's how come I wrote the question, but I've forgotten. But then, yes, they require the hardware to remain on premises. They are using a workload that requires the hardware to remain on premises, but the company wants to use the same management and control plane that it currently uses on AWS. So you will set up an outpost, right? The outpost will give you the ability to use AWS installed hardware on premises to extend and run native AWS service on premises. If you use Outpost, you can run some AWS services locally by using the same AWS service tools and APIs. So ground station is used to control satellite communications, process satellite data, and then scale satellite operations. Ground station is not related to, okay. And Fargate is a server. Yeah. We know they hear you, your line they break.
The outpost.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yeah,
the outpost is very similar. I'm sure it's very similar to the Snowball Edge.
Yeah, but just that for the outpost, it doesn't go back to AWS.
Yes, exactly.
And then 63.
Then I want to see the difference between the outpost and the local zones. No? They carry that thing, we try for the group top.
Okay,
make you finish this one. Make you finish this one.
Make you finish. So a web developer is concerned that a DDoS attack could target an application. So I think here now you dispute yes, AWS Shield, but CloudFront also has, right? It has that that shield service in CloudFront, right? So it exists in either CloudFront or Amazon Route 53. So if you saw Route 53, if
It's
there
similar
was
to Cloudflare. I don't know if you guys know Cloudflare.
No, for me,
Yeah,
I don't.
Cloudflare to be CDN like that. You kind of
Contain
the
the
monitor.
To protect websites. So even if the website goes down, sometimes it keeps an image or a visual image of the website. So maybe the hacker might think he's hacking the real website.
The real website. Oh, okay. That's nice. So yes, that's for CloudFront. So I think that, yeah, and then okay, what was the other one that you said we should go to?
The right sizing.
Yes, I think we've looked at what of that.
Same one, which one?
The question had right sizing in it, and then the answer was the cost optimization.
Optimization. Oh, okay. Yes, I think we have looked at this one. The simple way to set up a multi-account, right? That was the I've forgotten the thing again. Control tower.
Control tower.
Yeah.
And make a cloud tower. Yeah, similar.
And the principle of right side architecture design principles applies to right sizing. That's the cost optimization. We looked at that, and then there were other correct ones that we also looked at. So basically, how many did we get wrong? So 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad, 18.5. Okay.
So you're checking local zones, outputs.
5. 5 in 10 is a working.
I would tell over there feeling.
5. That's 5 days. So 5 days you lose about 13 points.
Oh, Ima, stop pinching the baby.
Ima, money look for one.
Hey, kiddies. You see, Becky, you see this time. That be the time they cry.
You go jogging. It's tired, bed, I go bed.
Look up now, mute man.
Yeah, okay. Check them. Madam Judith, where did you go?
You go all night. Then close at the come.
Go steal from the
kitchen. Go steal food from the kitchen. I should say, okay, you still beat for kitchen. Wow. Yes, you talk the same.
My kitchen is a different building.
Local zones are a new type of infrastructure deployment that places AWS compute, storage, database, and other select AWS services in large metropolitan areas closer to end users, enabling access to single-digit millisecond latency. With the use of AWS Direct Connect and the ability to meet data residency requirements. Local zones are also connected to their parent region via AWS's redundant and high bandwidth private network. So applications running in local zones also have fast, secure, and seamless access to a complete list of services in their parent region. Okay, unlike Outpost, which you deploy within your data center or co-location of your choice, local zones are owned, managed, and operated by AWS. local zones eliminates the need for you to manage power, connectivity, and capacity using the exact same set of APIs and tools that you are already using for AWS, for an AWS region.
So where exactly the use case?
Yeah, so is it, yes, for me, with the question, the local zones is more geared towards like applications. You get it? Than and then outpost is more or less like infrastructure. You get it? And then in the question they were saying is that the company is hosting an application that is slow. So they need a service that will help in content delivery. And then in that context, I feel like the local zones works best. Because with the outpost, you are still having like on-prem data center, and you are still going to use your own internet connection to do that communication.
No, Outpost, AWS will give you everything. So then go do the internet attache or something like that. So the connections or
the local zones a mini
so you see, so local zones eliminate. Okay, you talk. Finish.
A local zone is like a mini data center.
availability zone.
Yeah, the mini availability zone,
exactly.
which is brought closer to the customer. To
Is
reduce
it?
latency.
All right. So is it local zones eliminate the need for you to manage power, connectivity, and capacity?
So you still access everything like you are doing on a normal with your API through your API, but now it is very closer to you.
So the latency is reduced.
Yeah, so the latency is reduced.
All right, that makes sense.
All right. So make us stop the recording.